All right, good morning, everybody. Our trade plan is pretty much the same as last night. Staying above 44, we're looking for a value breakout, possibly to 65, maybe 75. Below 44, you're just rotating yesterday back down to 20. Possibly that would happen because of the Jackson Hole symposium with War speaking at 10 o'clock. Maybe the market is just in that kind of wait and see type of action. Back down to 20, that rotation would be finished, and then back into 96 and possibly 80 if it does have a breakdown of value. But right now, basically just a continuation of that value of yesterday with a very slight bullish bias because you have that obvious breakout of the value high. We'll have to see if you can stay above that value high. You don't really see that on NASDAQ. NASDAQ's kind of below that value level. But same thing on NASDAQ. If it does stay above 634, we're looking for about 30,000 and then around 147. The targets are really far away on NASDAQ because there's not really anything to target in between. It's just a really long upper tail. So you could take a little profit in between, maybe like a tail extension or something like that, but there's not any concrete levels in that gap. Could rotate back down to 506, then you have the daily lows, and then around 307 to 190, we have some older value. So levels are very spread out today, like I said, just because there's not really anything in between. We don't have those concrete levels every 5 or 10 points. But for the most part, we're just looking for rotations until that speech happens at 10 o'clock. And then we might see a value breakout. If they show the speech on like the official Federal Reserve YouTube, I might show it on stream. But if it's not on the official one, then I'll probably just listen to it and then give you guys some headlines. Okay, a little bit of a different move here. NASDAQ is breaking VWAP, but ES is staying above VWAP for now. 30-minute lows being protected. So they are not really following each other at the moment. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Patriot, Panama, AT, Future, Banana, Steven, Greg, eBay Stronger, Rob, Morris, Ludmir, Music. Want to Mark, Peter, Warren, Ike, Larry, Luis, Abby, Crypto, Scooby, LDT, Scott, Want to Tirito, Chuck. Appreciate you guys being here. Happy Friday, guys. So calendar for today, we have that speech at 10 o'clock. We have a bunch of data at 10 o'clock as well. And then we have data at 9:45. And that's the one that comes out a little bit earlier than it says, so it's like 9:40 to 9:45. So basically in a couple of minutes here. Okay, looks like ES is leading for now. The buy pressure on ES protecting the 30-minute lows, obviously staying above VWAP, and now we're pushing back above VWAP on NASDAQ. Data coming out in a couple of minutes here. And then the big thing for today is at 10 o'clock. So you can trade before 10 o'clock, but just be careful. It's kind of like this price action doesn't matter, really. Well, whatever happens in the next 20 minutes doesn't matter. Okay, a little bit of data coming out right now. Then we have all the big stuff happening at 10 o'clock. Good morning, Ronaldo, Max, Stream, Orion, Lulu, Faraj, Flory, Mall, DMC, Rocket. Good morning, Scott. Good morning, D, Ray. Good morning, Prince. Prince, if you need to reach me, you can send me an email right here. Here's my contact email. And good reminder, guys, that email that I just posted, be sure to send your receipts, any accounts you guys purchased on Apex using our code anytime during August, as long as they are not 25K accounts. Any other size, you can get entered in the raffle. Just send those receipts to that email. I'm going to start responding to all those emails this weekend. As long as you have those sent before like the 1st or 2nd of September, you should be good to go. So this is that weird data point that actually comes out a little bit early, like right now, but then it comes out again at 9:45. Yeah, Karini, I believe the auto renews are still tied to my account as long as you use the code for the first account. So as long as you use the code for the first one, and then you have the auto renew go through, you can send me both the receipts. More to Small World. That goes for renewals, or not renewals. What are they called? I forgot the word. When you reactivate the account, reset it, it goes for resets as well. Which account's better, Legacy or the current ones? It really depends on how you want to trade it. If you want to be a bit more aggressive and you think you can pass the account within 30 days, then the newer accounts are better. If you want to be a lot slower and take your time with the accounts, you want to go with the Legacy accounts because they let you keep them for longer than 30 days. But most of the rules are a little bit laxer. They're a little bit better for you on the newer accounts. For the most part, they're almost identical. The biggest difference is, can you hold it longer than 30 days? So if you want to take your time, do the Legacy accounts. If you think you can pass them quickly, then do the newer accounts. All right, let's see how that data came out. 47.1 over 57.9, much lower than expected. And then we have a lot more data at 10 o'clock. Using the code doesn't get you anything special. It just gives you the same discount, but it just supports the channel. And I guess the only thing special is you get entered in my raffles, and you also get access to my indicators as well. But from Apex themselves, the code doesn't do anything. It's the same as the normal accounts. It's just a way to support the channel, and if you want to get entered in my monthly raffles, you do. And then you also get access to the indicators, which hopefully help you get funded. We have helped over 200 people over the last, 2 years get funded accounts with the indicators. We're probably closer to 250 to 300 at this point, but I stopped keeping track after 200. Yeah, I think if you guys sign up using the code, get access to the indicators, watch my videos on the Becoming an Apex Trader series with the indicators, I think they'll definitely help you guys out. Obviously, read the write-ups on them as well. There's long write-ups on them to help you guys out. They take a little bit of getting used to, especially the Momo. The Momo definitely takes a lot of screen time. The OTS is pretty self-explanatory. That one you learn very quickly. The Momo definitely takes a bit of screen time. But if you watch my shorts, if you read the write-ups, watch that video on the Becoming an Apex Trader series, you'll figure them out pretty fast. Once people figure them out, they're pretty locked in. I have people from the olden days, back when we made them in 2018, that are still using these indicators. So once they are figured out, they become like a staple in your trading. Okay, looks like the market does not care about that data print too much. Still pushing off the 24 EMA. I'm curious, how is Take-Two doing with their GTA release yesterday? Pretty big block trade coming in there, 1,000 contracts to the downside. Their stock is literally not moving. So I looked at their last few GTA releases on their stock chart, and they follow the same pattern that kind of Apple follows. It's like a buy the rumor, sell the news type of thing. They typically go up when they announce them and throughout development, and then it goes down around the release. And then after 6 months to a year post-release, it typically goes up. Once they start releasing all the sales numbers and all that shit. Keep an eye on VWAP. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, Grand Theft Auto 6 did their very first gameplay reveal yesterday. It is pretty much the biggest game ever released in history. Well, it's not released yet, but you know what I mean. It's going to be released in, I think it's November or something like that. They've already sold billions of dollars worth of copies, I believe. I think they crossed $2 billion in pre-orders or something stupid like that. So that'll probably do well for their stock. We'll see over the next year or so. I'm not big into the gaming sector. I don't trade the gaming stocks very much. It's a really weird sector. You're typically better off just trading the tech sector. Keep an eye on VWAP here at 44. Speaking of gaming, when Nvidia did their earnings call this week, they basically did not even reference their gaming whatsoever. They pretty much don't even care about their gaming side anymore. And if you guys remember, we were talking about this a year or two ago when we kept looking at the reports coming out, and it was comparing their data center revenue to their gaming revenue. Their gaming, they could literally stop making graphics cards for gaming entirely, and it would not even put a dent in their revenue. It is such a small percentage of their revenue now, they could completely leave the gaming space, and it would not hurt them. I think they're doing gaming literally just for the love of the game, because that's what built their company. But I would not be shocked in the next like few years if they just stopped production on their gaming side. It's becoming such a minuscule percentage of their revenue that they just don't even care about it. They quite literally didn't even mention it in their earnings call. Yeah, no pun intended. I think they're literally just doing it for the love of the game because that's what started their company, and they already have the process. They have the supply chain in place. So why not just get a couple extra billion, right? But if they had to build from like ground up, they wouldn't even focus on gaming at all because it doesn't do anything for them. How do I get access to the indicators? Like I said, send me an email to the one I posted above. I can post it again if you don't have it. And just send me your most recent receipt with your TradingView username. Good morning, Ryder. Good morning, Ollie. Gotta pre-order the game in case they run out of digital copies. Yeah, exactly. They're moving on to GeForce Now, cloud GPUs, yeah. Everything's in the cloud. Yeah, Scott, maybe eventually. Maybe eventually I'll try to port my indicators over. It's just so much more work than it's worth. My code is so old. It's on like PineScript version 2, I believe it is. It's so old, in fact, that PineScript has an auto updater that won't even auto update my code because it's so old. That's why I don't make updates to them anymore, because if I try to update anything, I essentially have to recode the entire indicator. So I just don't even want to break anything. I just let them go. But nowadays with like Claude, I could probably just do a Claude conversion. Yeah, it's not on my plate right now. I got so much other shit to do. And it's not like I'm going to drop TradingView. I've been using TradingView for over 10 years. Or probably close to 10 years. Okay, get ready for war. She should be speaking in the next like 5 to 15 minutes whenever it starts. Happy to help. Yeah, that's not happening, man. I don't show my code to anybody. That's why all my code is done by me, because I don't like people seeing my code. I do appreciate the offer, though. The Momo is actually the only indicator that I have that someone else has seen my code, because at that time I didn't know how to code. And I had a coding buddy code it for me. I gave him the formula and the strategy and all that stuff. But every other indicator I coded myself after learning how to do it. Back in the days where we had to do it ourselves, we couldn't just put it in AI, unfortunately. That would have made it a lot easier. Now AI could probably make these pretty easily. You just give them the formula. Yeah, that's the other problem with converting it is having to put my code out there and give my code to another company and all that stuff. It's just a pain in the ass. You can use AI to reverse engineer it. Yeah, you can try. Feel free. Be my guest. I've had people trying to reverse engineer them for a very long time. Yeah, you need the email. Let me copy and paste it 1 sec. The beauty about the Momo and the OTS is you can try to reverse engineer them, and you could probably get close. You could probably get something that is like it looks like it's the same, or it looks like it's doing something similar. But they are quite literally impossible to reverse engineer unless you have my logic, because they are logic-based indicators that I quite literally created the formula for the indicator. Like the values are just created out of thin air. They're not like it's not using VWAP. It's not using a moving average. They are just values made up. They're just made up logic values. So unless you have my logic, you cannot make the indicator. You can make something that, like I said, looks the same and looks similar. But good luck actually copying it. It'd be like winning the lottery. Alright, let me find the live stream here. Are they doing it on the official Federal Reserve? They are not. Okay, so I'm not going to show it on stream because I've tried showing these other ones on stream, but because they're from the news agencies, they typically do not like that. So I'm just going to listen to it in the background. I'll give you guys the link if you want to listen as well. But I'm not going to put it on screen. Yeah, Juice is just using the Associated Press. No, Chebby, I don't need to do the local AI stuff. I use Grok's AI for my Athena bot right now. And then obviously I use Claude AI as well. I don't use GPT anymore that much. It's mostly Grok and it's mostly Claude. But I don't need local for really anything that I do. Just added work and added cost for no reason. Do I think the subscription to Financial Juice is worth it? Probably not. Because I get all the same headlines for basically for, well, I would say for free. Now you have to pay for the Twitter Pro if you want to do it the way that I do it. But I just follow all those accounts for free and get the same exact news. Yeah, DMC, I already do all that. I'm pretty well versed in AI at this point. I use it every single day. I've created a few things outside of trading on Claude already. I pretty much use Claude and Grok every single day. And I have been for probably, what, like 2 years now. It's extremely helpful. I've been telling you guys for a while. If you're not into it, I definitely would get into it and figure out what way um, you can use it to improve your work efficiency, your workload. I mean, you can be one of those anti-AI people, but unfortunately, you're just going to fall behind. That's a sad fact. You are perfectly open to your opinions, but you're just going to fall behind. Very low volume on that open, 90K. Yesterday we got, I think, 150 to 160K. So a lot of the market just waiting for this speech. You like using the negative on AI, saying, like, explain why this wouldn't work? Yeah. No, it's really good. Once you learn how to prompt it, that's a big thing. Like, prompt engineering is massive. You really need to work on your prompting. That is the biggest battle. Like, people think that AI is dumb and AI gets things wrong. Unfortunately, it is mostly the user error. Once you learn how to prompt it correctly, and you set up its database, or like you set up its backend memory and stuff like that, it is insanely accurate and insanely smart. People just, they try to speak to it like you're using slang, and it's like you're talking to another human and you're just kind of like fumbling your words, and you're not being very concise. You're not being I don't really know how to say it. There is an art to it. There is an art to prompt engineering. And when you get better at it, you'll start seeing the AI improve. That's why they were quite literally hiring people for a job title called prompt engineer. You want a Ringo? Yeah, that's a big thing, Rocket. That's a big thing that I was doing with my Athena bot, was I like hard coded it in its memory to, whenever it cites something, or whenever it says, oh, this person said this, or this headline came from this, or whatever, like whenever it cites something or references something, it has to provide that evidence. It has to provide that citation, that basically directly from the source. It can't just make shit up and say, like, this person said this. It has to provide the link and like the exact quote and all that stuff. Very bottom heavy candle here. Warsh has not started yet. We are just playing the waiting game. Waiting for Warsh. This is his very first. Oh, he's speaking now. They started the stream a little bit late. This is his very first one as the Fed chair. Want to tell him? Oh yeah, we did have 10 o'clock data as well. Payrolls down 79K. Consumer sentiment 51.7 or 51. Inflation at 4%. Inflation expectations, I should say. Awesome. Yeah, if you sent the email, you should be good by the end of today or tomorrow. I've got a few emails to catch up on. Okay, back into rotation here. Keep an eye on 506 on NASDAQ, which is 720 on ES. What is going on? Why is that crashing everything? Alright, sorry, I was trying to move my live stream and it's like crashing all my browsers. Very bottom heavy here, still pushing down into that value low for now. A lot of red right now. Most of the big orders are red since he started speaking. There's a lot of red coming in on the tapes. You're bouncing right off the overnight low. Keep an eye on these EMAs. Possibly being pulled back into VWAP here. You are bouncing a little bit early. The value low is at 20. Okay, here is VWAP. We'll see if they get any sell pressure on VWAP here. There's very little buyer delta into VWAP. He's talking about how like half of CapEx is build out of AI, which is pretty self-explanatory. We've been seeing that in nearly all the big companies. Still not really getting a lot of delta here. Keep an eye on the back test of the POC node. The delta's not too bad on NASDAQ, but it's pretty bad on ES. seeing the result of a lack in buyers up here. They are protecting the 24 for now. Keep an eye on that 24. That's that first point of failure. Traders see around a 50% likelihood of a rate increase in September. Keep an eye on this 30-minute close. You might have single prints going back to 41. VWAP trap playing out as expected because the delta is so weak. There's that loss of the 24 we were talking about. You need to keep an eye on the 24 when you are retesting VWAP because it's the first point of failure if it wants to fail that bear flag in the VWAP. Look at that delta, minus 10,000 delta on that candle. One of the highest single candle deltas we've seen in a very long time. He seems like he's getting to the end of his speech. Good morning, Sam. What EMAs? The teal one is the 8 EMA, the orange one is the 24. He's done speaking, but they're probably going to do questions now. Actually, maybe not. They're ending the live stream. Oh, never mind. They're not ending it. They're just messing with it. Okay, never mind. They are ending it. Okay. They're not going to show us the next segment. Okay, it looks like they're not live streaming the next segment. Fire's not doing too bad now that he's done speaking. They're trying to put in a higher low immediately. Yet again, another really nasty long-legged doji early in the morning. So now the next few candles were kind of just chopping inside of that candle. Higher low being established, and this is the 24 being protected on NASDAQ. It was not protected on ES, but now obviously it is back above that level. That first point of failure is showing up on NASDAQ here. I think the Jackson Hole is breaking their Fed Watch site. It's like not showing me the Fed Watch. Yeah, look, it's like completely broken. We'll check it a little bit later. Supposedly it's 50-50 right now. This is a failure to rotate, by the way. It did not finish that rotation into the value low, and you're kind of still building that trend of higher lows from yesterday. They protected the gap, and now you have those higher lows continuing, pushing our higher value possibly into these daily highs. You did finish the rotation on NASDAQ pretty much damn near to the tick. Same thing here, very obvious higher low trend, trying to push those highs. You don't really have any major targets up here until you get back to like 30,000. Delta is completely flipping. We had so much bearish Delta coming in. Look at this cluster on the way down. Just so much bearish Delta. And now it is flipping quite a bit. You do have a bit of a pinch and squeeze happening on the Momo to the upside here. Still protecting that 30 and 1 hour trail, which is basically that higher low structure we talked about. Yeah, it helps a lot, stream, for sure. Look at that delta shift, plus 4,000. We had a minus 10,000 delta candle, and now they have a 4,000 positive move here. Just because he stopped speaking, basically. And this is a reaction to a potential rate hike, which historically would be bearish. The market is just so broken in terms of like, this should be bearish, this should be bullish, this headline's bearish, yada yada. It is just doing what it wants to do. Building a very strong node up here. You don't have a lot of bearish delta fighting back. against that node. We'll see if it can stay below 61. If not, it's looking pretty damn strong here. It is staying above the ADMA pretty much the entire time. Yeah, there's a lot of delta flip for sure. Yeah, see, enjoy your weekend, man. Oh, sorry, Steven, I just saw your question. That's a delta chart. So you can set it to like only form bars when there's so much delta. It just helps you visualize like the immense amount of delta that's coming in. Like we had a massive delta move to the downside, and now we have a massive delta move to the upside. Every one of these bars is 500 delta, so you can, it's thousands, right? It's a really big shift. Possible single prints going down to 63. We'll see how that closes. 'Cause So if you guys remember, we marked this out, I think it was like 2 days ago. And I was talking about it, they broke out of this little triangle here. The main target would be the upper tails and then back into that massive value overlap. So obviously all these upper tails have been taken out. So that value overlap is back to like 800. They're almost there already. They need like 30 more points. Yeah, this goes back to what we talked about starting on Monday, where we were putting in lower lows and lower highs, but then Monday, Tuesday did not put in a lower low. They were struggling to find that lower value. And now we obviously see that shift coming in. Look at how stable that trend is. You are protecting even the 1-minute lows, staying above the ADMA. Single prints back to 63 are highly likely. This is that 5-minute pinch I was talking about. Now the pinch is nearly topped out. A very good momentum coming in. Hey, Crypto, have a good weekend, man. I'll see you next week. Here come those single prints, guys, going down to 60. This is a very strong candle. Strongest node on the top of the candle. By the way, guys, we're going to put out a couple more shorts this weekend. And that's going to be it for a while. We're going to take September off for the shorts. Most likely come back in October. Couple reasons. Give the algo a break. We've been saturating the hell out of it. And now it's like barely even pushing them. But also because my editor, he's been really busy at work. So right now he's like basically making the short. And then I'm like releasing it the next day. So we have no backlog. We've used up our whole backlog. So having a month where he can just make the shorts and then not have to meet the deadline like the next day is going to help him a lot. We're going to take September off. Obviously, just the shorts, guys. I'm still be streaming. But just posting the shorts. We're going to take September off from that and then come back on most likely October. Maybe we'll do a couple of long form videos in September. We haven't done a big update in like gold or oil or any of those other markets like the dollar and stuff in a while. So maybe we'll do a 20 or 30-minute video covering all that. Give my thoughts going into the end of the year and start of next year. Still not seeing a ton of sell pressure. They're trying to fill in these single prints, but they can't even get below the 80 MA. a pretty weird market when the chance of a rate hike can go up dramatically and then price goes up dramatically as well. I was looking at T-bills the other day. Speaking of rate hikes, I was looking at T-bills and they're still paying pretty good rates, 3.5%, 4%. And those will probably go higher if they hike rates. Paying better than most savings accounts right now. Right now, even the money markets, like money markets are around like 3 if you're lucky, maybe lower than that. Okay, starting to lose that ADMA, possibly 24 here. Filling in those single prints back down to 62. You do have a top pivot on that 5-minute with a wick above. Yeah, the market pressure takes into account all of them. It doesn't filter it. It might have a filter setting. I think like the preset and the threshold, these are like filter settings, I believe. I don't think I've changed these. I don't remember. Those might be default. Yeah, tape reading definitely can be exhausting for sure. I used to do it on stream every now and then, but it's way too exhausting to constantly do. People just have to get used to doing it on their own. But yeah, it's a little bit easier just to see kind of the general pressure in bar format instead of like reading the orders as they're coming in. The easy way to look at it is kind of the same way you would look at the tape. Like when it's slow and they're about the same, it doesn't really matter. But when you're seeing like really big shifts and it just starts going crazy out of nowhere, or it starts like it was green the whole time and now it's heavily going red, like stuff like that. You're looking for those big shifts. You're not looking for like the normal stuff. The iceberg orders, yeah, you can see those in a million ways though. You don't really need that on the market pressure. You can see that on any candlestick chart. It keeps hitting the same price. You can see it on the tapes with all the orders being on the same price. You can see it on a delta chart. I mean, you can see it a million ways. If you have the heat map indicator, you can easily see it. The 5 minute MOMA right now, it's kind of in like a bull flag formation. Like you had a big spike up and then you took a little bit of a break, but it's still overall bullish. And that's exactly what price looks like. Take a little bit of a break, but it's still overall bullish. The 1 minute makes it more obvious, like very aggressive move, take a little bit of a break, but it's trying to go back up. Is that an added specific feature? Which one are you talking about? Possibly putting in a lower high here, but it's more likely just being pulled down into those single prints. Oh, there should be something like that on NinjaTrader. It's a very common. It's on like every order flow platform. It's typically called like buy pressure or tape pressure or market pressure. And literally just type in pressure. There should be a bunch of them. I'm pretty sure we had something like that on NT back when we were using it. It's been so many years now. I don't remember. Yeah, no problem, Scott. Hey, right, have a good weekend, man. Yeah, it would imply the buyers are too strong. The sellers can't fill in the singles. Hey, Scott, have a good weekend, man. We do not like to see those block trades on high day like that. Typically means they are getting stuck. Yeah, Chevy, have a good weekend, man. We'll see you on Monday. A little top doji up here. If they cannot hold above this upper node, they will look for those last two single prints. But if they can hold above it, we still have a couple of targets left. Well, actually, I need to extend our trade plan. Our trade plan's done. Our trade plan went to 75. So our next target would be 820 or like 800. Nice whole number there as well. But for now, the daily highs have been taken out. We go ahead and extend those now. So 800 and 820 will be the next targets on ES. We still have a large move up on NASDAQ looking for 30K, possibly around like 900 as well. Yeah, overall, very strong break of balance here. Obviously continuing the higher low structure and the higher high structure. This all comes back to Monday. We talked about this early on in the week. You were in a very strong downtrend, lower highs, lower lows. But as we said on Monday and Tuesday, we did not know if this was a short-term downtrend or a longer-term downtrend. If they were protecting these lows, then it was a short-term downtrend because they're going to push those highs. We talked about it back on this chart here, targeting this upper value node around that 800. So we broke out of that triangle. We were not able to make those lower lows. So now that trend is short-term bearish, not long-term bearish. And we are back into that overall uptrend here. Basically, it's pretty much just a bull flag, pretty much. But all right, guys, on that note, I'm going to call it there. I will be streaming in Discord for the rest of today. If you guys are not in Discord, enjoy your weekend. I will see you guys on Monday. Another reminder, here is that email. If you guys use code BREW anytime during August, and if you plan on using it before the month is up, just go ahead and send those receipts whenever you have them to that email. And I will get you guys added to our monthly raffle. Every account is eligible except for the 25Ks. You get 1 ticket per 50K, so 100K is 2 tickets, so on and so forth. We're going to be pulling Discord access and tutoring access as well. And I will pull those winners the first week of September. If you guys enjoy the stream, hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe. I do stream 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, typically around 9:30 in the morning. But all right, guys, enjoy your weekend. There will be a couple of shorts this weekend, and then we're going to take a little bit of a break from the shorts for a few weeks. Enjoy your weekend, guys. I'll see you in Discord. Peace, everybody.